Okay, let's unpack this. Today, we're embarking on what feels like a really crucial journey. We're diving deep into what many folks in recovery call the house cleaning steps.
Right. Steps 5 through 8.
Exactly. Think about it like this. You've put in all that effort laying the foundation for a solid building. You've cleared the land, poured the concrete, got the frame up.
All that foundational work from the first few steps.
Yeah. And now it's time for the inside job, you could say. Clearing out all the debris, the old stuff, the clutter that's just been sitting there, maybe hidden away.
Making the space truly livable.
Totally unfettered, full of light. And honestly, this phase, it really demands, well, a huge amount of courage and a deep, almost radical willingness to transform.
It really does. And what's so interesting here, I think, is how these steps 5 through 8, they're not just about thinking, self-reflection, which we did a lot of earlier.
Right, like in step 4.
Exactly. These are about radical action, tangible change. It's about actively confronting and really releasing the wreckage of the past.
Making space.
Making vital space, yeah, for genuine freedom, for peace of mind right now in the present. It's a powerful shift, isn't it? From just understanding your past to actually doing something about it.
Moving from thinking to doing.
Pretty much embodying the principles in your life.
Absolutely. And for this deep dive, we'll be looking closely at some profound wisdom from the core texts. We're talking about the big book, Alcoholics Anonymous, and its partner, the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, the 12 and 12.
Foundational stuff.
Totally.
Yeah.
And we'll also bring in some, practical insights from daily reflections, maybe some other accounts too, that really shed light on how these principles work in real life.
Just to be clear, for anyone listening, when we say big book or 12 and 12, these are the texts that have, well, guided millions through this exact process.
Yeah, this isn't theory. It's actionable stuff proven over decades, drawn right from the heart of recovery.
And our mission today really is to be guides, to help anyone who's seeking to move beyond past burdens, step into a life with more honesty, more spiritual freedom, more connection.
We want to give you, the listener, a path forward that feels clear, encouraging, maybe even reassuring. We respect your time, but we really want to offer some valuable insights into these steps.
Because this is where those big internal shifts we talked about before, this is where they start showing up on the outside in real, tangible ways.
Clearing the path for a new way of living.
Yeah.
A way that maybe you thought wasn't even possible.
Exactly.
So let's kick things off with step 5. Admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs.
Mm-hmm.
This step, wow, for so many people, this is where the rubber really hits the road.
Yeah. It's a hurdle for sure.
It takes immense courage,
Yeah.
almost daunting sometimes. And it's so important to get this. It's not a confession like you might think of in other places where you're waiting for judgment.
No, not at all.
It's an admission.
Yeah.
And it's designed purely for liberation, for freedom, bringing what's hidden out into the light, not to be condemned, right?
Yeah.
But to be healed.
You've really hit the core of it there. If you look at the bigger picture, step 5 is where that painful grip of isolation, that feeling of being totally alone with your stuff, it starts to break.
Finally.
Yeah. The 12 and 12 talks about the profound relief that comes. It calls it the beginning of true kinship with man and God.
Kinship, that's a great word for it.
It is. It goes on to say, you lose sense of isolation, receive forgiveness and give it, learn humility, gain honesty and realism about ourselves.
Yeah.
Imagine carrying this heavy backpack full of secrets.
Yeah, weighing you down.
Exactly. Keeping you separate, feeling different, alone. Step 5 is finally putting that backpack down.
Ah, the relief.
And the big book talks about this too. It mentions withholding certain facts leads to trying easier methods, shortcuts, half measures.
We all try those sometimes, don't we?
Oh, yeah. But the book and just tons of experience shows those easier methods. They just don't work long term. They always fail eventually.
And Daily Reflections hits this hard. I think it's May 14th. It says super clearly, easier methods do not work. I need to take all the steps. I need the 5th step to learn true humility.
Boom, right there.
So it's not just about spilling secrets. It's about building a completely new foundation of honesty. First with yourself, which is tough enough.
Yeah.
Then with your higher power, however you understand that. And then, crucially, with another human being.
That 3-part admission.
Yeah, it's like shedding old skin.
Yeah.
Radical transparency. That allows real healing to start. The genius of it, I think, is weaponizing vulnerability against that prison of isolation we build ourselves.
That's a powerful way to put it.
You trade the weight of secrets for, shared humanity.
Mhm.
Realizing your flaws aren't just flaws, they can be the bridge to connecting with people.
Absolutely. And the big book, it goes into detail, pages 72 to 75-ish, about the promises, the good stuff that starts happening after you take this step
What
genuinely.
kind of promises?
Well, it emphasizes that if people back then were unwilling to be honest with these sympathetic men, like doctors or trusted folks who got it, then we were honest with no one else.
That rings true.
It really underscores the absolute need for complete, raw honesty with someone. It's presented as vital for lasting recovery, not just a nice idea, but essential.
Non-negotiable.
Exactly. Without it, the self-deception just continues,
Yeah.
right? And real change stays out of reach.
And the 12 and 12 in the step 5 chapter, it goes deeper into this idea of fearless admission of defects being necessary to sobriety and peace of mind.
Fearless. That's a big word there.
It is. And
Yeah.
what I find fascinating is it even calls confession an ancient discipline, something people have recognized for centuries as a way to get free.
Across cultures, across traditions.
Yeah. It highlights that speaking your truth out loud to another person is just crucial. It's releasing that burden you've carried, maybe for years, in secret.
And like that quote from Came to Believe says something like, in solitude, we admit stuff to ourselves.
The exact nature of our wrongs.
Right. But the really profound part, the transformation, happens when it's shared out loud with someone else.
That relief of being seen, flaws and all, and accepted anyway. It's huge. It sets the stage for everything else.
It really does. Which, of course, brings up a really practical question for a lot of people. Okay, how do I choose the right person to hear my fifth step?
Yeah, that's a big decision. Who do you trust with all that?
The texts give pretty clear guidance. Look for someone discreet, empathetic, experienced, someone who can create a safe space, non-judgmental, focused just on your freedom.
Someone who gets it.
Yeah. Living Sober mentions a sponsor, right? As someone we can confide in, get everything off our chests with. Ideally, it's someone who's walked this path, can listen without judgment.
A safe harbor.
Exactly. It's not about finding a perfect person, because there aren't any. It's about finding someone trustworthy, wise, committed to your recovery. It's choosing a guide, really, not just a listener.
Okay, so after that massive step, that unburdening is step 5, we get to step 6 and 7. These are often called the willingness steps, right, in this house cleaning process.
That's a good way to think about them, yeah.
And here's where it gets, well, really interesting for a lot of folks. It's not just about knowing your character defects anymore. We did that inventory in 4, shared it in 5.
Right, the awareness is there.
But now it's about becoming entirely ready to let them go.
Yeah.
That shift from just understanding them, intellectually seeing the clutter, to being genuinely willing, deep down, to remove it, root and branch.
It's a subtle shift, but incredibly powerful, step 6 says. We're entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character.
Entirely ready, not just partially ready, or ready for some of them.
Exactly. And the 12 and 12 chapter on step 6 really digs into this difference. It separates just being aware of defects from actively, truly desiring the removal.
So it's one thing to say, yeah, okay, I procrastinate, or I have this fear.
Right. It's another thing entirely to say, deep in your gut, I am entirely ready for this to be gone from my life.
It feels like a bigger leap.
It is. The text talks about the danger of procrastination here, or even rebellion. It says something really strong like, the moment we say no, never, our minds close against the grace of God.
Wow.
Delay is dangerous, and rebellion may be fatal. It really highlights how this step means abandoning what it calls limited objectives.
Limited objectives, what does that mean?
Those subtle ways we hang on to our defects, you know? Maybe we think they still serve us somehow, or we just can't imagine life without them. Like, I need my anger to protect myself or something.
Ah, okay, got it. The payoffs we think we're getting.
Exactly. Step 6 is about letting go of those illusions and truly moving towards what our higher power wants for us, which always means letting go of our own control over those old patterns.
It's recognizing that holding on to them, even a little bit, is still that self-will running riot.
Precisely. And that self-will blocks the freedom we're after. It's surrendering stuff we might have even thought were strengths, but they just kept us stuck.
It's like saying, okay, I see the stain on the carpet. I'm not just looking at it anymore. I'm ready to scrub it out no matter what.
Good analogy. And that leads right into step 7. Humbly asked him to remove our shortcomings.
Humbly. There's that word again.
It's central, isn't it? Step 7 gets right to the core of humility. The 12 and 12 hammers this home, saying, the attainment of greater humility is the foundation principle of each of AA's 12 steps.
The foundation principle of each step.
Yeah, it goes on. For without some degree of humility, no alcoholic can stay sober at all. And again, this isn't about feeling worthless or humiliated.
Right, not groveling.
No, it's about seeing yourself realistically, knowing your limits, knowing you're connected to others, knowing you need help from something bigger than yourself.
Accepting reality.
Exactly. Daily Reflections puts it simply. Humility is the ability to look at myself and honestly accept what I find. Just being okay with who you are, flaws included.
And realizing you don't have to have all the answers.
Right. You don't have to be the smartest or strongest, just you. This step isn't about shame, it's about spiritual health. Daily Reflections also says, to recognize and to admit my weaknesses is the beginning of good spiritual health.
That makes sense. It's like the more you grow, the more you realize how much help you actually need.
From others and from your higher power, it's like realizing your house has some, I don't know, structural issues you just can't fix on your own.
Yeah.
You need an expert or a higher power.
Yeah, you need help.
And the absolute heart of step 7, for many, is the 7th step prayer. It's right there in the big book, page 76.
Can you share it?
Sure, it goes. My Creator, I am now willing that you should have all of me, good and bad. I pray that you now remove from me every single defect of character which stands in the way of my usefulness to you and my fellows. Grant me strength as I go out from here to do your bidding. Amen.
Wow. Every single defect, which stands in the way of my usefulness. That's powerful.
It's total surrender, isn't it? And
Yeah.
willingness. Asking for the removal of everything that hinders your ability to be helpful, to serve others, to connect with your higher power, it's asking for transformation.
Recognizing those defects are actually blocking you from living fully.
Exactly. Now, to make this less abstract, let's maybe look at a story or two from the books that show this willingness in action.
Yeah, good idea. How does this actually play out?
Okay, there's a great one in Daily Reflections from May 9th called Walking Through Fear. It references the big book, too. It's about someone who, after their 5th step, had this light bulb moment.
What was it?
They realized all their character defects basically came down to this deep need for security and love.
Yeah.
And trying to just willpower those defects away. Futile. Obsessive, even.
Been there.
Right. The real shift happened in step 6 when they really leaned into spiritual action. So this person had a crippling fear of elevators, like debilitating.
Yeah.
One day, they decided, I have to face this. Asked for help from their higher power, took a deep breath, and got in the elevator.
Oh, wow. Big moment.
Huge. And in the corner, there's a woman just crying, totally paralyzed by her fear of elevators, triggered because her husband had just died.
Oh, my goodness.
And in that instant, the person telling the story completely forgot their own fear, just totally focused on comforting this stranger, offering support.
Oh.
This spontaneous act of service, this spiritual moment, showed them so clearly how willingness was the key to working the rest of the 12 steps.
That's incredible. Action, willingness, service, dissolving fear.
It's a beautiful illustration, isn't it? How getting outside yourself, helping someone else, combined with that willingness can just melt away these deep-seated things. It kind of proves that idea, God helps those who help themselves, in a spiritual sense.
So how do we apply that willingness day to day, beyond just the big moments?
Well, another powerful example touches on pride. The big book talks about this, how hard it is to face spiritual illness because of great pride, disguised by my material successes and my intellectual power.
The pride trap. Success hiding the real problem.
Exactly. It says, intelligence is not incompatible with humility, provided I place humility first. It shows how smarts or success can mask the real issue, and humility is the absolute key to even seeing it, let alone addressing it.
Our strengths becoming blind spots.
Precisely. The genius here is realizing that real spiritual power isn't about gripping onto defects or trying to control them. It's the paradox, right? Strength comes from humility, from the willingness to let go, trusting that removing these old patterns opens up a better, more purposeful life.
That passage on pride really hits home. How defects can hide behind things we think are good. It's not about ditching intellect or ambition.
Not at all.
It's about putting humility first.
Yeah.
Guiding principle, like finding a crack in the foundation you covered with nice wallpaper. The wallpaper doesn't fix the crack.
Perfect analogy. It's that profound shift from self-sufficiency, which can be deadly in addiction to, God's sufficiency or reliance on a higher power.
Admitting you need help isn't weakness.
It's the opposite. It's ultimate strength, radical self-awareness. It allows for that deep growth and removal of patterns that cause so much pain.
Okay, so that brings us logically to step 8. Made a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all.
Right. Another action step, but a preparatory one.
Exactly. This one feels like a real exercise in, well, willingness again and self-discipline. It's about making a list, a comprehensive list, everyone you've harmed.
Individuals, institutions.
Yeah, even yourself, potentially. But crucially, like you said, you're not making the amends yet. You're just making the list and cultivating the willingness to do it later.
That willingness piece is huge here. It's preparing the ground.
It feels like this is where that fourth step inventory really comes back into play, doesn't it?
Absolutely. From a practical angle, this is where that deep dive pays off. The big book says pretty directly, we have a list of all persons we have harmed and to whom we are willing to make amends. We made it when we took inventory.
So the raw material is already there.
Yeah, mostly. You're revisiting it, refining it, looking specifically for people, places, employers, communities, anyone impacted negatively by your past actions.
And the point isn't to feel terrible all over again.
Definitely not. It's not about wallowing in guilt. It's about systematically preparing to shed that weight. Daily Reflections talks about this willingness coming as a desire for forgiveness of others and myself.
Leading to emotional freedom.
Exactly, that's the goal. It's a strategic preparation for getting free.
Because that fear, right, the fear of actually facing the people we've harmed, that keeps us trapped.
Totally. In guilt, shame, remorse. This list, though, it turns that vague, crippling guilt into something concrete. Actionable intentions, even if the action is down the road.
It's like making the full repair list for the house. Okay, here's everything that needs fixing before this place is truly sound.
Good one. And what's really fascinating is that just making the list, just doing that internal work of cultivating willingness, it already starts to chip away at the fear.
Really? Just the listing and willingness.
Yeah. The big book emphasizes, now we need more action, without which we find that faith without works is dead. Making the list is the action at this stage. It's the spiritual work that begins the whole amends process.
That's the work before the work.
Kind of, yeah. And the 12 and 12 chapter on step 8 explains the core purpose. Remove fear and address defective relations with other human beings, which have nearly always been the immediate cause of our woes.
Wow. Nearly always the immediate cause of our woes. That's a strong statement.
It is. It highlights how messed up relationships are often at the root of our suffering. And addressing them, even just preparing to, is key to peace of mind, building real connections again.
So making the list, getting willing,
Mm-hmm.
it's the start of dismantling the fear, paving the way for real freedom.
Genuine emotional freedom, as Daily Reflections calls it. It's the beginning of the end of isolation, clearing that path to reconnect with yourself, with others, with your higher power.
That willingness you build here, it's like the essential bridge to healing, isn't it?
Absolutely indispensable. It leads to serenity, to making your spiritual house a real home.
Okay, so as we kind of wrap up this deep dive into these house cleaning steps, wow, it's quite a journey, isn't it? Steps 5, 6, 7, and 8.
A major undertaking.
We walk through the huge courage needed for step 5, admitting your wrongs, breaking the isolation.
We're getting honest.
Yeah. Then the subtle but vital willingness in step 6, becoming entirely ready to let go of those character defects.
Not just seeing them, but being ready for them to go.
Then the deep humility in step 7, humbly asking for help, asking for those shortcomings to be removed.
Surrendering control.
And finally, the methodical preparation of step 8, making that list of harms, cultivating the willingness to make amends.
Laying the groundwork for future action.
This whole house cleaning thing, it's not just a nice phrase. It's a real, tangible process that genuinely sets you free from the past.
It absolutely does. All these steps together, they literally work to clear away the wreckage of the past, as the big book puts it.
Clearing the wreckage.
Yeah. They prepare you for a whole new level of freedom, peace, and usefulness, moving you towards that road of happy destiny.
Getting off the road of misery.
Exactly. That old way of living, marked by loneliness and remorse, it gets replaced by real fellowship with other people and with God. That's from 24 hours a day. It's a total shift in existence.
From being isolated and burdened to being connected and purposeful. It's pretty amazing when you see it happen.
It really is. And connecting it back, the spiritual life, it isn't just theory. It works. But you have to live it.
Yeah, just think about it.
Nope. As Daily Reflections and the Big Book both remind us with that beautiful simplicity, it works. It really does.
It works if you work it right.
That's the essence. The transformation truly kicks in when you commit to this courageous action, cleaning out your internal house. one thoughtful, willing step at a time.
So for you listening right now, what does all this mean? It means real freedom from the past, from all that baggage, those secrets. It's not just a pipe dream.
It's attainable.
Absolutely attainable.
Hmm?
One courageous step after another, embracing honesty, humility, trusting a process that's helped millions find peace, find purpose, find connection.
It's a path to a different life.
So as you think about this house cleaning journey we've talked about, maybe ask yourself, what part of your house are you ready to clean today?